William Hill sponsors Joshua vs Takam on Sky Sports Box Office.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in... What do you do?
Nothing. When I was a kid, I used to go out, pretending to smoke. Didn't you do it? Didn't you do
probably
it?
had one though, didn't you?
No, I didn't
Did you ever
smoke.
take drugs when you were younger?
Are you mad? Cigarette? No, not... No?
No.
I don't do drugs, you're crazy. Cigarweed's not a drug,
No?
but I never took that.
You never
Joking.
took that. Johnny Nelson, press conference day here. What did you think of Takam on the bag yesterday? Not on the bag, on the pads. There's no bag
Listen,
in the ring.
Takam, what you see is what you get. He's going to try and get in close. He's going to try and... He's a strong user. He's a little tug, and he's going to try and put it on AJ. He has got the power to try and walk in down. But in truth, I just think AJ... Everyone's forgetting. AJ's like younger. He's fresher. He's faster. He's not been in as many tough battles as Takam. I think AJ's got it all in his favour. You've got to respect Takam for saying, yeah, I'll take this fight. Because he could have said, no, I'll wait 4 months because I'm now officially the mandatory challenger. But he's been watching AJ since AJ won the world title. AJ's had 12 days to think, how do I fight this guy? I've got to change my tactics. I've got to change my mindset. So that's what AJ's now got to do. So it's hard for both fighters, but if you look at it, AJ's got the youth, he's got the speed. The problem is, if AJ becomes complacent, thinks I've got a soft touch here, because we've seen it before when fighters have thought they had a soft touch, like Lennox Lewis when he boxed Vitaly Klitschko. We saw what nearly happened there, and Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson. You know, you saw what happened there. So if you underestimate somebody, that's when, you know, it's a bit of a banana skin.
Dillian White said yesterday in an interview that he feels as though Joshua's peaked and doesn't get any better, more specifically physically and, you know, fitness-wise. He said there's a lot of boxes that can be ticked in Dillian White's favour where he will improve, but he believes that Joshua's kind of, this is what we're going to see from Joshua now.
You're going to hear that from Dillian White because there's no love lost between those two, and that's not just for the cameras. These two don't like each other, so anytime they can get a sly dig on each other, they will do. I don't think Anthony Joshua is near the finished article, and for the position he's in and the age he's at, and not be the finished article, it means there's a lot more to come. I think he's going to be more rounded, more sharper, more wise. He'll have more ring craft. That is to come, but it comes with different situations, different fights. Dillian's going to say that. I know. AJ said in regards to Dillian against Helenius, he's been sparred with Helenius. He knows Helenius is strong. He knows he's tough. But he says Dillian's got to get through the first 6 rounds with Helenius. So they're both watching each other. They're not officially giving each other any props, but they're both watching each other. But there'll be no sweet whisperings from each other because eventually, if Dillian keeps winning, they could fight again. And believe me, believe it or not, these guys don't like each other. So it's not just about the cameras, it's not just about the PR. They don't like each other, so they'll try the hardest not to cuss each other out on screen, but when the camera's off, the cussing makes your ears bleed.
What have you heard?
Just some bad language.
Yeah?
Both sides.
Both sides?
Both sides.
Okay. You obviously sat infamously in the middle of them in that gloves are off.
Yeah.
And you look like, you know, when you were matey with Joshua, weren't you?
Why would you say that?
Because you was.
No, I wasn't.
Because Dillian White put it on you in Germany. Dillian White put it on someone else in Germany on that same day as well, but that was in a different way.
Your thing is, that's what I like about Dillian, because if he's got a beef with you, he's not going to talk behind your back. He'll talk to your face and yo, blood, what go on? And I'm thinking, yeah, all right, I like that, come on. And but the thing is, when those two together, they cut a hell of a lot of it out, And the stuff they cut out, you think what you saw was juicy. The stuff they cut out was mad. So if those two fight again, and Dillian gets in a position where he's world champion, this is going to be absolutely crazy. So you just got to they've both got to concentrate on who they have in hand. Dillian gets through this fight, then he could be fighting for a world title. So I'm hearing against Deontay Wilder. This is what I'm hearing.
Who wants 7 million?
And the winner of that fights AJ in the summer. So you don't know. If David Haye gets through Tony Bellew, that might be a little appetizer, should I say, for Anthony Joshua before that in the summer. But potentially, if we get a lot of wins, the UK fighters get a lot of wins, as in Dillian and say David Haye, we could have some big fights next year.
Big things.
Big things.
Big things.
Ah, yeah.
What did you make of obviously the announcement that James DeGALE will fight on Frank Warren's show on the 9th of December?
I was shocked. I don't know if it's a one-off fight. I don't know if it's a one fight deal. I don't know what the score is.
Well, okay. So DeGALE, who we haven't actually heard from, but he retweeted something yesterday that said that the deal with Frank Warren is a fight-by-fight basis,
All right.
which kind of makes sense as well.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. And so maybe, you know, they found a compromise, because I know at one point James DeGALE was, you know, you mentioned Frank Warren's name, he went blue. So they must have. That's the game. They must have come to some sort of negotiation or some sort of compromise to get something sorted out. At the end of the day, if you fight, you want to fight. And James, he's done well, and he's the king of the hill. Now he wants to get back in the UK, and I get that. And he wants what he's worth. So if Frank's willing to give him that, good on him. You can't knock a fighter for that. It's business.
I mean, as baffling as it is, there is a world outside Sky Sports Boxing.
Yeah, you know what? Frank once said to me, in this game, you have to work with a lot of people you don't like. This is business. So if Frank and James are friends or not, this is business. And so you can't, that's that, and they've been sensible enough to say, right, the public want to see James DeGALE in action. BT are in the game, competition is good. ITV are in the game, competition is good. So yeah, I'm a boxing fan. So as long as it's on, I was like Saturday night, I was like flipping from Sky to BT, watching the fight. I thought, come on, do me a favour.
At least you admit it.
Why not?
There's other people, no names mentioned, that don't admit that they, you know, they've got that finger pulsation to turn over.
No. Because listen, Josh Warrington, I like Josh Warrington. I like the fights that were on. There were the Yorkshire fighters that were on the bill. I was just stuck in the middle between a rock and a hard
place. You've
place.
got two screens on. You didn't have to flick through the one.
I've just got Sky Q, but I don't know how to work it.
You've got Sky Q?
Yeah, man.
Do they give you Sky Q? What do you get?
I've got to pay for it.
What do you get free from Sky?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I don't get anything free. Why do people think that?
Oh, okay, I'll give you an example, yeah? I've got a show on BoxNation, yeah?
Yeah.
BoxNation.
Do you get free?
Hell yeah.
You're joking.
And my mama gets it as well. My mum and dad get free BoxNation, yeah?
I'm going to write a letter.
And I get free BoxNation.
I'm going to write a letter to the directors.
So you don't get nothing?
I don't get nothing.
Do you not even get a discount? Nothing? Because you're like, you know, one of the faces on Sky.
No, but I don't expect that. I'm not one of the faces on Sky.
Yeah, but the money you're on though.
Oh my
like
God.
600 grand a year is a lot of money.
Yeah, if I was on 600 grand a year, I'd be flying in from my little apartment in Marbella. But listen, at the end of the day...
Johnny, let me just ask you about Eddie Hearn and James DeGALE, because, you know, speaking to Eddie yesterday, he kind of said what we already kind of knew, that their relationship has been a little bit up and down professionally. Yeah. He likes him, you know, as a person. He's always said James DeGALE is spot on, etc. But since the Al Heyman link-up, there has been a kind of thing there between Eddie and James DeGALE, where it's apparent in videos where, you know, they've sort of said little comments, etc., etc. But that relationship, for Eddie, he said that, you know, it changed, and in his words, had a little fallout after the Al Heyman link-up.
Listen, you see that in so many different fractions in boxing. I remember Naz and Frank fell out. Naz and Ricky Hatton fell out. Ricky Hatton and Frank fell out. These.
All right, we're just talking about you. Yeah.
Oh good. Oh good. So good.
Yeah.
So. Hello. Oh, you're right. You good. So they fall out, but you know what? They kiss and make up. It's business. So Eddie and James will have fallen out. They will have crosswords. Don't be surprised if you see them working together down the line. Don't be surprised. So these are they're like marriages. It's just one of those things.
One of those things. And who have you ever fallen out with?
I don't fall out with anybody.
In the TV industry.
I don't fall out with anyone. I'm a nice guy.
Because no one really likes you at Sky. That's what I've been told.
But I don't care. They stuck with me. I'm like dog
everyone
shit. I get everywhere.
Everyone loves you at Sky, apparently.
You see, just
you bring
be yourself.
sweets for everyone on Saturday nights.
Yeah. I don't. I teeth everybody else's sweets. That's how you got to roll. Don't put your food down because it gets teeth. At least admit I'm teething it.
Fair enough. What are you hearing about Amir Khan?
So I saw Spencer do an interview with Amir Khan, and Amir said he wants to fight in England
In December?
Yeah, he might fly the likes of Garcia over, or I can't remember somebody else. And Spencer Fearon said to him, well, why would you do that? Kell Brook's there on the doorstep. Amir, and I've always been a fan of Amir. I like how he fights. I like the energy he brings to it. But he says some stupid things sometimes. I'm thinking, did you actually say that? So he said, Cal needs a couple more fights, and then it's big business. How many couple more fights is he saying? So before he was world champion, he said he needs to be world champion. He became world champion, he needs a couple more fights. He lost like he lost. He needs a couple more fights to make it big business. Amir, if you don't want to fight, Kel, don't. That's it. Just say, yo, it's not gonna happen. I'm not interested. Don't just give it lip service, because when you say these things, people see straight through them. You think, come on, do yourself a favour, man. It's stupidness. If you ain't gonna do it, just stop trying to fool people, because nobody's buying it. And how you doing? I'm a fan of Amir's style. I'm a fan of the success he's had. I like the commitment he's taken, where he's gone to America and done what most fighters won't do. But when you talk shit like that, it's shit. It is shit. It's just talking shit.
Oh, you Sheffield brothers really stick together, innit?
Hey, listen, it doesn't mean I'm saying Cal wins. What I'm saying is stop talking shit. That's all.
Okay. I wanted to know about what his plans are for his next
It's
fight.
foolish because the public wants. That is the biggest fight for Kel. That's the biggest fight for Amir. I cannot tell you who will win that fight, and Kel's my boy. But come on, if the dance ain't on, just say, yo, there's no dance on. Don't fool people, because you're insulting them. You're insulting everybody else. How you doing, brother? You good? Nice to see you. Good. So to me, that's what it's frustrating about the game. I saw it years ago with Ricky Hatton and Junior Witter, and you can understand. Ricky was there, Junior was there. Junior got above Ricky, and then Ricky flew. So you thought Ricky will do you every day of the week, Junior. But now, when Amir's saying what he's saying, I thought, do you actually want to fight? I'd like to speak to his trainer, Virgil Hunter, just his ex-trainer or whatever he is, just to see what the score is, because Virgil Hunter is one of the few real trainers left. And when I spoke to him before, when he talks about training and talks about training camp, I thought, I can't see you standing for any of that nonsense from Amir. If the fight's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's the guy you want to interview. That's the guy you want to get the lowdown from, because he'll say exactly how it is.
Well, listen, I want to see Amir back in the ring soon. He's been out of the ring for a year and a half, and he's still got, should we say, unfinished business in boxing, definitely. So definitely want to see him back in the ring soon. I do want to see the Brook fight. People, some might argue it's losing its appeal as each sort of year passes on, but this has been going on for 5 years. You
cannot give me a justified reason, or you cannot justify any of the reason that Amir has come out with. You can't justify any of them. Every one of them has been crap. And I just think, you know what, I'm starting to lose respect for you now. Don't say that, man. I rate you as a fighter. I rate what you're doing. I rate how you've committed yourself to the game. But don't fool people. Come on, if you don't want to fight, say, no, I'll never fight him. I'm not interested. Just say that. But I don't know. I think it's like trying to take everybody for a fool.
Okay. Well, thanks for your thoughts today.
Why have I got a funny feeling there's going to be a bit of a backlash about this?
Oh, listen, you said it. You got to deal with it. Simple as that.
I'll do it. Bring it on. Come on.
You
see that movement? I still got it.
You may have ruffled some feathers there, but listen.
What? I said what people think.
Well, listen, you're
entitled
to your opinion.
Do you think it?
I think that the fight should have happened 5 years ago.
So when these things are said about he needs a couple more fights, what do you think?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. No, part of me doesn't know what goes through Amir's mind when, because he said originally, you're right, about the...
needs a couple more fights, needs a big fight.
Go and win a world title, go to America.
Yeah.
He did that with Porter, go and fight someone. He's done that with Golovkin.
Yeah.
So really now, it should come a time, right, okay, you've done all that, let's fight. So that's about my extent of what I'm going to say about it. But I'm not going to be disrespectful like you just did.
I'm not being disrespectful. That's not being disrespectful. If I talk shit, right, you say, Johnny, stop talking shit. I'm thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm talking shit, all right? I swallow it. I'm talking shit sometimes. But if you're talking shit to me, I'll say, yo, KUGAN, you're talking shit. Stop. End of story. I don't play. I'm a Yorkshire man. I don't play like that. You Southerners like beat around the bush. I'll tell you how it is.
All right. All right. Every man is entitled to his own opinion.
Look at you! You just threw the grenade in and just stepped back and said, "Boom!" Look what
did I ask you? I asked you about when we're going to see him back in the ring again.
Look at that glint in your eye. You're just thinking.
What made me thought of him? I saw him in an interview he did with Stephen Ellis.
Yeah.
That was posted on the BoxNation Twitter this morning, and that got me thinking. That was all. So, I didn't know there was beef with you and Amir.
There is no beef.
All right.
What's up, big man? There's no beef. That's what I'm saying. I'm a fan of
Really?
his.
There's no actual beef.
I'm a fan of it. Well, there might be now, but I am a fan of his. But don't. What I'm saying is, when you're saying that, I'm thinking, you know what? You can only justify a certain amount of bullshit. Bull.
All right. Well, listen, Amir, if you are watching, you're more than welcome to. Obviously, he's a good person on IFL TV. We like Amir, so he's more than entitled to respond back to any of Johnny Nelson's comments.
This isn't personal. This is an observation. It's an observation.
Fair enough. But
and
Amir's
you kind of said it yourself without the colourful line.
No, I didn't kind of say it myself. I just said that I want to see the fight, but I'm just stating what I know Amir said to me before about over the last 3 years about why the Kell Brook fight hasn't happened. But Kell Brook, if you're looking at what Amir said, has kind of ticked those boxes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. He has ticked them boxes.
So on the last occasion when Amir was asked and he said he Kell needs a couple more fights, what do you think of that statement?
I haven't heard him say that.
After Kell's jumped through every hoop that he's wanted him to do.
Well, Brook's doing his own thing. He's not jumping through hoops for no one.
What I'm saying is, when he's ticked every box, what would you say when you're hearing stuff like that? You're thinking, I smell something. That's what you're thinking.
You might choose the
You're
same thing.
You're a bottler.
Get the fight on.
I like straight talkers. You're a bottler.
Get the fight on. I'm not going to start disrespecting people on here like you
don't
just did.
No, it's not disrespecting me. You're just calling them out. I'd mess him up. Look at that big guy. Right. I've taken
the Nordic Nightmare.
What?
Are you the Jamaican Nightmare?
What? I'm Jamaican Gemma, man.
Oh.
I will web a gem.
Are you the Winkerbank Nightmare?
You know what rhymes Winkerbank, don't you? Champ.
All right, let's go.
Poetry's not great. Let's go inside.
All right, cheers, Johnny.